Business Review, a daily program that delves into the latest and most significant economic stories. From stock markets to currency news, Business Review covers the most up-to-date stories in the global financial world. In a report published by trade unions in Gaza on workers' losses due to the coronavirus pandemic, the president of the General Federation of Palestinian Trade Unions estimated the number of affected workers to about 160,000 workers, directly and indirectly, causing them to lose $27 million for the past hours and days of work. He stressed that this reality requires the competent authorities and the donor countries to direct their support to the segment of workers mainly, as most of them receive a wage for working days, meaning that most companies and factories do not give workers wages in light of the curfew and work suspension.
The Palestinian worker suffers from the damages of the corona pandemic due to the suspension of all industrial, commercial, and economic establishments as a whole. And there is a very large percentage of workers who work on a daily basis. These are among the most affected people. They do not have access to their daily food. This threatens not only a disaster to the Palestinian economy, but a humanitarian disaster that threatens the society.
The report reviewed the reality of the losses incurred by the workers sector until this moment, indicating that the industrial sector, the capacity and productivity of factories have decreased dramatically. Currently, only 100 factories out of the 2,000 factories in the Gaza Strip are operating, and before the pandemic, 21,000 workers were employed, most of whom are now unemployed. Meanwhile, the currently operating factories specialize in the field of sewing for the manufacture of medical clothes, masks, protective clothing, food, milk, plastic bags, paper, card boxes, and wood for export, with a limited production capacity, and only hundreds of workers are employed by them.
Tens of thousands of workers lost their source of income today as a result of the spread of the coronavirus in the society. This matter is extremely dangerous for people in general and in our Palestinian society, and is also an extension to the ongoing state of siege on the Palestinian people. So that's why real intervention is required to lift the suffering of the Palestinian worker and balance the measures required for the corona pandemic and the opening of economic facilities for workers to return to their work. But this also requires maintaining safety measures to keep them from spreading the virus.
The report also indicated that 20,000 drivers working to load passengers were suspended due to the pandemic, about 3,000 workers in spinning and weaving, and nearly 30,000 farmers, in addition to 600 workers working in commercial malls, thousands of street vendors and owners of the stalls, and workers of the shops in multiple fields. Also 5,000 workers working in the tourism sector, 2,800 work in kindergartens and transporting school and university students, and about 30,000 workers work in the construction sector and related fields. The report described the year 2020 as the worst year that has passed for workers since the imposition of the Israeli blockade on the Strip, while unemployment among workers reached nearly 75%, and the number of unemployed reached about 250,000 workers. And these numbers are expected by trade unions to increase their numbers in the statistics that will be issued at the end of this year. For KTV2, this is Business Review Program, Yumna Syed, Gaza, Palestine.
Eat Out to Help Out has proven to be a vital tool in helping the catering business to get back on track. The scheme was endorsed by a great number of restaurants around the UK, with 64 million meals served to the public at 50% off, with the government making up the difference.
I think it's been a great success, but it was introduced for a time-limited period. It was done in the month of August to get people back in the habit of going out to restaurants, eating out. We can do these schemes to kickstart things and get things moving, encourage people to get back to work, encourage people to get out and about again, and albeit by maintaining social distancing and an element of caution, get back to living life as normal as possible. But you can't just keep running these schemes forever. At some point, we do need restaurants and others to, yes, take advantage of that support that's been on offer, but then ultimately to get back in the saddle and start doing business themselves.
In the middle of all the economic misery of the coronavirus pandemic, the scheme managed to generate enough business to save 1.8 million jobs. Although the initiative is coming to an end, the hospitality sector is so excited by the scheme that some restaurants opting to continue offering discounted meals to entice people to continue eating out.
Very, very good value. So we would like it to be extended either in full or in different ways, because what you're seeing here is jobs protected, small businesses protected.
A glimmer of hope for the hospitality sector as it fights for the economic devastation caused by the global pandemic that has changed the social and the business norm around the globe. Gamal Shaheen, Business Review, Kuwait TV, London.
The Palestinian fishing sector is one of the most important economic sectors. It participates in supporting the Palestinian national product by employing large numbers of fishermen. According to the Ministry of Agriculture, in 2020, it's estimated to about 4,000 fishermen, who support about 40,000 people. While the number of workers in occupations related to fishing, such as making and maintaining boats, preparing nets, making ice for preserving fish, cleaning and selling fish, is about 2,000 others. In addition to its importance in supporting Palestinian food security by providing animal protein from fish.
قطاع الصيد يعتبر هو ثاني أهم قطاع إنتاجي بعد الزراعة.
The fishing sector is considered the second important productive sector after agriculture because it represents a large workforce inside the sea. In the fishing sector, there are at least 4,000 fishermen in addition to 2,000 workers related to the fishing industry, not to mention the various professions related to the fishing sector. Even hotels and tourism facilities mainly depend on fish provided to guests. Therefore, the fishing department is vital. In addition to that, it provides necessary food for our people.
Here, a variety of fish are spread in the markets of the Gaza Strip, including barbouni, mullet, sea bream, sardines, shrimp, and lux. But sardines are the most favorite and most important meal for Gazans. In Gaza, citizens buy fresh fish more than the imported or frozen fish, for it's better and more delicious in taste, although it is slightly higher in price than the imported one.
The fish that comes on the market here is popular fish. Its prices range from 10 to 30 shekels mostly, which allows people to buy them easily in the Gaza Strip. As for the more expensive fish, such as bream, sea bream, and others, we export most of them to the West Bank. The most popular fish in our Gazan market and that are in great demand are sardines, mullets, tilapia, sararos, salfa. These are very popular fish.
The fish wealth in the Gaza Strip is not limited to the market and local consumption only, because large quantities are exported to the markets of the West Bank through the Kerem Abu Salim crossing, which contributes to the economic interior of the Gaza Strip. For KTV2, this is Business Review Program, Yumna Sayed, Gaza, Palestine.
China has expanded the pilot program to spur innovative development in the service trade in 28 cities and regions in pursuing a new approach to economic development. The 2020 China International Fair for Trade in Services, the CIFTIS, kicked off in China's capital, Beijing. Services trade has become the focus of China's opening up. In 2016, it announced 15 areas to carry out the pilot program. In contrast to trade in goods, services trade refers to sale and delivery of non-physical products, such as those in computing, finance, and education. Areas to carry out the pilot program in services trade will roll out more opening up measures in the country. China's services trade hit about $291.7 billion during the first months of 2020. The trade in services has also become a new engine for world economic growth, with the World Trade Organization saying it has expanded faster than the trade in goods. And the WTO also expected services trade to reach a third of the world's trade value by 2040.
This has been Business Review, your daily source for the most critical stories in the financial world. Tune in next time for the latest financial news impacting the world economy.